Hello everybody, it's John Alexandrov, and I want to thank you for the emails and text calls that I received last week because of the video that we did sent out to you about 2017 goals and making sure that you have everything established and ready to go into next year. So we've decided to do some more video on a more consistent basis. So maybe every couple of weeks or so you'll be getting another video just with some kind of observations, things that are happening in the coaching process with many of our clients, some of the successes and victories people are winning, and also some helpful tips. Now, one of the things that came up in coaching calls consistently over the past couple of weeks were people feeling like they were out of sync a little bit and actually feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. Now, there are a couple of reasons that I've been able to pinpoint for that, if that has happened for you. Number one, we came off of this crazy election cycle, putting the candidates aside. I mean, just going through the election cycle for the past 18 to 24 months, it was exhausting, it was overwhelming, there was a lot going on. And finally having the elections and sort of putting that behind us now, I think people did feel a little bit overwhelmed and exhausted by that. And then second of all, in the midst of that, we turned the clocks back. And I did some research on this, and I mentioned to some of you in coaching calls that whenever we turn the clocks back or forward, it typically takes people anywhere from 7 to 14 days to get back into their normal rhythm. As a matter of fact, again, regardless of whether we turn the clocks back or forward, the number of emergency room visits goes up, and the number of automobile accidents goes up, and the number of people being late for their appointments goes up anywhere from 10 to 30%. So if you have felt a little bit out of sync over the past couple of weeks, I'd say that's pretty normal. Now for me, I have felt a little bit more tired just because the days are compressed and it's a little bit more dark than light now. But I've been able to be aware and prepare myself for this over the years just because I've observed it and I've been a part of it. Now I also want you to make sure that you take a look. If you feel like time's being compressed a little bit right now, there's a couple of reasons for that. Again, we've had the change in the clock, we've had the election, and we also have holidays coming up. Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and although you might not be consciously thinking about this, unconsciously or subconsciously you're thinking, wow, I've got about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks to go, in the rest of this month. I've got a holiday in there, we just came off of Veterans Day, we just came off the election, and then all of a sudden it's the Christmas holidays, Hanukkah, all this great stuff that's happening right after that. So in your mind, you may be feeling a little bit of pressure. Now, I also know many of you have year-end awards you're shooting for. Of course, we're striving to exceed our goals that we set for 2016. So there's a lot going on in our minds right now, and that could be, kind of adding to the overwhelmment a little bit. So what I advise you to do, and I'm glancing down at my notes just to make sure I don't miss anything, is number one, take some time and truly reflect on what your priorities are right now. For most of you, you're telling me your number one priority is your family. It's your spouse, spending time with your family, all that great stuff. And that should be your number one priority right now, especially during the holiday time. 2, do you have enough family time and personal time scheduled into your calendar? Because you might start feeling a little bit of pressure from having to attend this party. There's charity events coming up, I know, for some of you. So you might be feeling a little bit of pressure there. And do you have a clear vision as to what your priorities are for 2017? Because I find that when your schedule or your calendar is a reflection of those priorities, it's truly knowing what your priorities are and scheduling your time around that, making sure that you have your family time in place, and 3, having a clear vision for where you're heading in 2017, you'll have more of a sense of peace because you know that you're engaged in your priorities and you know that you have a really good sense of where you're going coming into the new year. So as long as all 3 of those things are in place for you, I think you'll be back in sync. You'll feel a little bit better about where you are right now. You'll finish the year strong. And I know from our coaching calls this week that many of you are really, just in terms of your goals, it's just really having a phenomenal year. I mentioned in the video last week, over 85% of you are exceeding your goal for 2016 and having your best years ever. So congratulations on that. Okay, so let's finish off the year strong. Let's make sure that you have those priorities established. I'd love to see you enjoy your Thanksgiving, the rest of your holidays. Make sure you have time with your families, and let's make sure that that your 2017 vision is clear and set, and we're ready to go for the new year. Listen, everybody, have a great Thanksgiving if I don't see you or talk to you personally, and we'll pick things up right after that.